So my name's Jeff Bonasso, and I am founder of two companies. MiraCheck is one, AmbiFi, and I'm going to start with MiraCheck because this was a very focused use case on the vision that I had, and then AmbiFi is that next layer of that. But basically, if you think of what is the use cases for this type of technology, being a pilot and flying an airplane and doing all your procedures in a completely hands-free way. And I'm a pilot myself, so I've been in technology almost 30 years now as an architect. I'm a pilot, so going through the training process of being a pilot, came up with what MiraCheck is, and it is basically a virtual co-pilot for pilots. So if you ever fly an airplane, and this is focused more on single pilot operations. So when you fly with a co-pilot, your workload is 10x to 100x easier if you have somebody sitting next to you. But when you don't have that, that's what MiraCheck tries to do. So it's a virtual co-pilot where you can basically interact with it in a completely hands-free way. And I'm going to show you a quick demo of that later. So aviation, it does have the best safety record in the world, I would say, of almost probably any industry. And it is because of their adherence to checklists. And it's in your DNA from like day one when you go through the training of a pilot, that checklists are just part of what you're going to do. So again, MiraCheck models all that, and it gives tools to each pilot to completely create and customize their own content as well. So another thing we did here, there's 75,000 airports worldwide, and using Ogie's technology and an AI layer in between, we created a natural language voice interface to anything you'd want to ask about these airports. So when you're flying into an airport, you can say, what is the runway length at this airport? What is the elevation? What are the radio frequencies and tower frequencies? All the type of things you'd be looking at your iPad on and trying to click and find this information, to do it in a completely hands-free way. And we even went further, and you can get situational awareness. There's an autopilot which keeps you on track, and if you veer off your track, just like a co-pilot would in the right seat, they'd say, pay attention, get back on track. So it's using GPS and that sort of thing to real time give you that information, and you can control that all with your voice as well. So then AmbiFi was we proved I would say, the cockpit is a very harsh environment, and we proved that this could be done completely hands-free to go through all this type of content. So AmbiFi is taking that for any safety critical industry and allowing you to model any human-based procedures that you would want to. And we provide a whole no-code, low-code platform, which just means you don't have to be a software engineer to model these procedures. We have a whole complete what you see, what you get UI to build these procedures, deploy these procedures throughout an organization, and we have what's called a digital black box that everybody taking these procedures, and that comes from aviation as well, there's a complete audit log of every interaction they do when they're actually running a procedure. So the voice interface is to allow you to walk through these procedures in a completely hands-free way. And we've tackled many verticals, but our big focus right now is in healthcare. And this quote comes from a recent article that the healthcare, they are trying to adopt the methodologies of aviation. And there's a great book, it was written over 10 years ago, called The Checklist Manifesto. And it is about taking that aviation methodology and applying it to other safety critical industries. And they have use cases in construction and all different use cases. But obviously healthcare is a huge one. And it says if the airline industry made as many mistakes, there would be about 460 plane crashes every day. That's just the numbers on how healthcare works with patient safety and things like that. So that is the gap we're trying to help close with a platform like AmbiFi. And I'm going to show real world use cases of what this means. So let me pull up a video here. So at first it's going to show, this is the MiraCheck side going through a checklist both on the outside of the airplane, pre-flighting, and then within the cockpit. So I'm going to play that.
At KAFJ. Are you ready to start? I am listening.
Check.
Call for fuel.
Check.
Stall horn. Test.
Check. So I'll pause it real quick. So my iPhone in this scenario is in my jacket pocket. I'm just using the voice as I'm walking around the airplane. And it also does have a complete visual UI too, and you can interact with it just tapping buttons and things like that as well. But this is showing when you're just walking around your airplane and you just want to listen to a voice walking you through these steps, and you're interacting, just checking off each item, and it moves to the next item and that sort of thing. So, and again, this procedure was built by the pilot with the content they want for their airplane. And we have a whole library of hundreds of aircraft just for this use case as well.
Fuel. Both.
Check.
Trim. Takeoff.
Check.
Takeoff section. Full throttle. 2,600 RPM max.
What is the Unicom frequency?
The Unicom frequency is 122.975 at KAFJ.
So that is the natural language interface to the airport information. So I was just asking, it already knew that I'm flying from this airport to this airport, and I did that with my voice as well. I just said I want to fly to this destination. And then I just needed the frequency at that moment, and it gave me it, and I just plug it into my cockpit source there. So now we're going to show a AmbiFi solution for healthcare. So we were invited by, they're one of the most prominent children's hospitals in the country, and they were trying to solve for years how to do sterile processing in a hands-free way. They had a big audit done, and literally there's 8 to 12, they call them omissions, but that means there's 8 to 12 mistakes when somebody sterilizes an endoscope that's going to be used in the human body, because it's like 100 plus step procedure to clean an endoscope, and they have to do it all from memory. So they first train to do it all from memory, and then they go in, and even people that do it for 15 years are making mistakes because of the extensive nature of the procedure. So this is showing how to do that in a hands-free way in AmbiFi.
With the leakage tester attached, immerse endoscope in water. Observe for 30 seconds.
Open comment. Close comment.
So she is in this outfit where you absolutely are in a hands-free way. You can't be tapping phones, things like that. And you notice there's an iPad there and there's visuals there, and that helps a lot when you're first learning the process and things like that. But as you get better at it, you start doing that stuff just really listening to the voice, and you're walking through that procedure completely hands-free. And that solution, the headset she's wearing, it's a $20 Amazon trucker headset that is just the conduit to collect the voice and send it to the iPad, basically. So that is an AmbiFi use case. And again, we have those use cases in many different industry verticals as well.